All right, I think we are back with our next game. Thanks to everybody for sticking with us. It's been a little bit of a long series, but we're coming back with our winners match. That's going to decide the first player to advance out of BSL Season 6 Group A. So yeah, I think we're going to get back into it. We just watched Aru get unfortunately eliminated by Jaeyoon, and that means that we are going to go into GosuDark versus SPX.
Yep, two great players. Excited for this, and I'm ready to just get into it.
All right, let's go for it. GosuDark versus SPX. Game one is going to be on in the way of an Eddie, so let's do it.
All right, so in the bottom right, player SPX.
And in the upper left is GosuDark. Kind of cool to see him play. He's, I think, from Peru and is a newer player to BSL, but not a newer player to StarCraft. He's been around for a super long time. Plays pretty aggressively, so I want to see how he's going to handle SPX. It's the first PVT that we've gotten a chance to watch today.
Yeah, so I know SPX streams a lot, but I have not seen many of his games. Don't really know what his Terran vs. Proto style is, but I do have experience versus GosuDark. We've played on Roadkill quite a bit, and he likes to do that Dragoon pressure like we saw him pull out versus Aru. So if I'm in SPX position, I would already be thinking about what's the best way to deal with early pressure at my expansion, because it's likely if he goes for gaseous expand, there's going to be a lot of Dragoon pressure onto the bunker. If he doesn't do that, he's going to have to be very careful with his tank to make sure it does not get picked off. We'll have to see what he decides is the most optimal choice here. Now, GosuDark is putting his pylon in the back of the base. This is something I've been seeing a lot of Protoss players do, not just on Eddie, but on Circuit Breaker also, is they put it way back deep inside their base. So sometimes if you're Terran, you come in here and you poke in, you don't really scout the whole base, come in partially, don't see anything, and turn around. Because of that, SPX may miss scout.
Yeah, I actually, I've heard a lot of, I guess, differing opinions on this about four-player maps. It's like, well, it introduces RNG into the game, but I think it actually just makes each game like a unique, right? I don't want to see. I mean, every pro player wants every game to play out exactly the same way in which they win, and so for the fans, that would actually just be very boring. So I think this is a nice compromise where you say, well, if you're going to go for an early aggressive strategy on a four-player map, you might wind up looking pretty dumb if you don't scout for it appropriately. So there's GosuDark scouting incorrectly the first time, and we'll see if SPX can make the correct scout, but it looks like he's going to scout towards the left hand of the map.
Yeah, so he's going to get a secondary scout most likely. On some maps, you would go for a cross scout follow-up, but because it's in the way of an eddy where it's pretty, I don't think you can proxy gates in the middle of the map. You can build a barracks there, but definitely not gateway. So I don't think he's going to do that, so he will end up scouting him second. But regardless, GosuDark has sent out a very fast scout of his own. He's going to find SPX. He's not going to pull out Tyson style and not scout at all. And SPX, he did go for 12 gas, so he's going to get out a faster tank. It's going to make him be able to get a command center a little bit slower, but it's going to be much safer. He will not be vulnerable to a big Dragoon bust. And versus players like GosuDark, I personally like that choice.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I guess that's one of the ways to do it. If you were going for like a barracks expand, obviously you might be a little bit more vulnerable, and obviously want like a bunker or something along those lines. But yeah, he's gonna be pretty safe and sound, and especially after he scouts, he'll realize there's no two-gate pressure or anything coming his way.
Oh, this is what I was saying. SPX, did he just miss scout? He's turning around. He did exactly what I said. He poked in. He didn't see it. Oh my gosh, look at the vision of SPX. If we turn off GosuDark, he missed it by millimeters. Actually millimeters.
Wow.
So he has no clue what GosuDark is doing. And versus somebody like GosuDark, who we saw, Aru had a full scout on him the whole game on, what was it, Sylphid? And he ended up going for delayed DTs. This is terrible.
So I remember, there used to be some griefers that I would run into on the ladder, and so they would play Terran, and they'd lift their command center and float it just like to a random place. So I'm scouting around. I'm like, wait a second, did I miss scout? And they're just being assholes. But this is like, well, wait a second, he's Protoss. Like, what happened? So crazy.
Yeah, and look, we see GosuDark is going for one base robotics. That is such an uncommon build, but we've seen a resurgence in it in the past couple ASLs. It made a big resurgence in one of the KSLs. I can't
Yeah.
remember which one, but the opener from SPX is still going to be pretty good. Oh no, I already don't like it now. He's going mines. That means we're going to have a low tank count. Luckily for it, oh, it gets picked off. I thought his SCV was going to get in.
So he still hasn't scouted a Protoss building this game after double SCV scouting the second time after he missed it. Damn. Wow, this is really a struggle for SPX. He is really in the dark, the GosuDark even. I'm going to keep making bad puns about that all game long.
So GosuDark. Oh, the Vulture. Okay, so here's a key timing versus Protoss. When if you're Terran, is if there's no Nexus at 420, 100% of the time you're getting all in. So now we're pretty much just hoping here that SPX has recognized that this is some type of all in. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't know what it is, but this SCV, this one's gonna get in, and this is a very nice scout for him. He sees the robotics. He does not see the gateway count, but at least he knows that there's definitely a robotics play coming in, so he can assume it's either gonna be some type of Bulldog shuttle bomb or it's gonna be Reaver play. So very nice scout from him.
Yeah, and there's even going to be obs, so these mines are going to be pretty irrelevant. Wow. I mean, I don't know. SPX is having some struggles. There's a Nexus coming up right now, so he might have said, well, I got scouted, so let's cool it with the one base, get a base up of my own. And so, I mean, if for a moment, SPX will have the economic advantage, but, ooh, well, we're queuing up our third observer here. So, or I guess that's second observer. GosuDark is uncharacteristically kind of scared.
Yeah, so GosuDark was most likely going for some type of bust. He's definitely not going to be defensive goon observer. And now he's decided he's going to transition out of it. But regardless, I was going to say that SPX is respecting it. He was building a bunker in his main, but he insta-cancels it. He recognizes that GosuDark is most likely transitioning. And now because SPX has recognized this so fast that he's probably not going to over-respond. And I do like SPX's position now because GosuDark's econ is definitely shot. We talked about his lack of pro production versus Aru. So his third Nexus is going to be pretty late too. And SPX is pretty fine now that he's recognized it's not an all-in. He doesn't really have to necessarily worry about having a low tank count.
Let's see.
Oh, what's this? Stargate in the main.
What is going on? Is this like two base arbiter carrier? What's happening here?
So this looks like it was. I was gonna all in you. You scouted it. Now I'm gonna expand, but now I'm gonna go into two base arbiter, and it's gonna actually be pretty good because SPX, he's not gotten a comsat. He has no idea that something like this is coming. He's going for a starboard. That's going to delay his academy even longer. We also don't have an armory.
I'm so confused. I mean, if you get scouted and you're just doing like the weirdest stuff, there's a sense in which if you don't know what you're doing, there's no way your opponent can know what you're doing either. So, I'm really excited to see what the culmination of this build is. I'm guessing, the two base arbiter, but that's kind of a confusing decision to make from the position that GosuDark is in. I mean, they're cross positions on a huge map. If your opponent doesn't have that many bases, when you try to go either recall or stasis your way into their forces, like I don't know if that's really going to work out. But I mean, we'll see. He's finally going to get out and put on some pressure with these dragoons, but it shouldn't really accomplish all that much.
Yeah, so now SPX has his academy almost done, so he's going to scan it pretty soon. About an 8:30-ish scan, and that's going to be about the time the Stargate maybe starts blinking, maybe slightly less. So this is going to be a pretty good timing. Oh, GosuDark tried to jump on top of those tanks, but SPX on top of it, getting his vultures up there. But regardless, GosuDark still is only on 2 base. That's to beat 2 base versus 2 base as Terran. That's pretty good. You're not worrying about, facing 25 gates that you see in a lot of Protoss versus Terrans. But SPX does have to be worried now that there's going to be multiple arbiters with stasis when he eventually does try to push across the map. So we have a dropship for SPX. What's he looking to do here? None of the
Yeah.
vultures have really any mines. Well, they have a couple, but not many. So this looks like it's probably going to be a vulture drop, but I'm not sure how much damage it's going to do.
I guess one way to do it would be maybe sneak out an SCV, try to get a secret base that way. Probably, though, is just going to look to try to get some vultures into GosuDark's base while he's putting in all this pressure. But hey, look, he's doing a great job busting through the minefield. There's only like 1 or 2 mines here. Will they be able to hit? No, but the tank shots make a lot of blue goo.
Yeah, but that's a big commitment from GosuDark. He lost a lot of Dragoons there, and we see that his econ is okay. Third base is going down now. It's not the greatest, but when you're going 2 base arbiter, every unit counts. GosuDark's continuing to put on the pressure, picking off that tank. That was a little too exposed there. Look at him just drawing the attention of these mines. He's gonna bust in. There's 6 goons versus 2 tanks.
Well, that is bad for the Terran? Yeah, okay, alright. 2 of those Dragoons were at 2 HP, so if you get 1 more tank shot off, then everything just blows up. So there was a moment there where maybe SPX could have just like completely killed every single Dragoon, and he still has 3 medic or 3 Marines and an SCV in that bunker. So he'll hold for a second, but yeah, lowering that tank count early on, huge deal.
Well, GosuDark knew this drop was coming from a mile away because he's already got cannons set up in his main, natural, and third base. So the drop did nothing. And to go starport early from Terran, it's a big commitment. It's a big commitment from any race, but it reduces your tank count, which reduces the power of your push or delays your push. So GosuDark's in a pretty good spot, but SPX has confirmed Arbiter now. Arbiter's already almost out. I don't think GosuDark's going to go for a recall. I think he's most likely going to bank up these Arbiters. Just mass stasis when SPX comes out. I'm trying to find, does SPX have an armory anywhere? No, it just started, so he doesn't really have any of those very strong Terran upgrades to fall back on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Protoss dream. Like, imagine playing TvP as a Protoss player where you make the agreement that the Terran player isn't allowed to get upgrades. It's like, wow, that sounds super sick to me. So for GosuDark, he's going to be pretty happy about that, seeing
What?
ZZZero on
What?
SPX's units.
He just... the Vultures ran by, and now he's going to trade... Well, he might lose all of his Dragoons, but he just traded Dragoons for 2 or 3 tanks. These are amazing trades for GosuDark. Somehow SPX is ahead in supply. He's done a really great job macroing.
Yeah, what is happening here? It feels like so SPX is uncharacteristically contained. Like, as a Terran player with mines and siege mode, theoretically you should be able to hold off some Dragoons, right? Especially when you're trying to get your third base off. But GosuDark is trading so effectively against the 2 most cost-effective Terran units.
Yeah, these Dragoons are doing work, and it's just buying him time to get more and more Arbiters. We see Recall being upgraded for GosuDark, and because this Arbiter has been banking so much energy, it's likely that when he eventually goes for a Recall, the second Arbiter may even have Recall available. But SPX, he's got his third base up, checking the factory count. He's up to 7 or 8 factories, so his macro is pretty strong. GosuDark putting down some more gateways, so his macro is pretty strong. Even a second Stargate coming in here, so we really could see potentially 4 Arbiters. And those ice cubes they cast, those are pretty damn good.
Yeah, ice cubes in general. Not something I'm a big fan of right now because it's like -5 degrees here in Korea. So there's just too many of those to go around. So maybe that's my inner Terran player not liking these ice cubes, and I'm sure SPX doesn't either. But he's going to try to get a flank on these Dragoons as they retreat. I thought he was going to lay some mines in there, but he wants to kind of save these and lay some more kind of body blocking minefields, I guess. But hey, finally, SPX has got an armory out. He's getting his +1. He's got a third base. So things are starting to look a little bit better.
Yeah, so SPX is pushing across the map. This is pretty dangerous versus 2-base Arbiter because you know that they're going to have the Arb. You're going to have probably not that many scans. Even if you do, a lot of times you're going to get caught slightly without vision. And now these tanks are really isolated. How can SPX really get any reinforcements here? But he's managed to set up a good minefield. He's got high ground. But do the Arbiters have stasis? I think they do. Here it comes.
I think they do as well. Look at that. So many ice cubes. A little bit cold up there. And yeah, the DT especially is just going to mow down everything.
Yeah, so now SPX just lost his entire army. He's still higher supply than GosuDark, but that's a
Wow.
lot of tanks to lose for essentially nothing. And if I'm GosuDark in this position, I would start thinking about taking a 4th base. You know that you reset the tank count again. He's done a good job resetting the tank count the whole game. And we're seeing that in SPX's army back at his natural look. We have 4 tanks. Terran flat out cannot attack with a tank count like that. They really got to at least get 12. But when you're facing this mass arbiter style, you really need upwards of 20 or 24. So this could be a very long time before we see another attack from SPX.
You know what would be a huge nerf to stasis, but not actually change the balance of the game, is if you put a timer for when it was going to run out. I've seen so many like pro-level Protoss players storm stasis tanks because they thought they were going to unstasis. Then the storm runs out, the tank's on stasis, and they kill everything. I'm just like, oh my god. But he actually did kind of lose a little bit more. But anyway, SPX lost his entire force there, but you're right. The supply kind of tells the difference here. The army is just still so big and scary from SPX. So GosuDark's like, yeah, I killed it. I stayed alive. Let's go attack. But I don't know if that's going to work out very well. Even though he does have these kind of sick, crazy, good Dragoons. Well, I will see if he can break it again because there's huge minefields, turrets, deep tank lines, vultures. This might not go so well.
Yeah, I don't think he has the army right now. He's got 2 arbiters. They both have stasis available. But SPX is just so fortified. He's even got several mines at his 3rd base. A lot of turrets there. He's got tons of turrets at the pathway to his natural. So many mines there also. And what will GosuDark do? If I was in his position and saw all this, I would just sit. Terran's got to build up their army. It's going to take them a long time for them to build that up. And while you're just sitting there as Protoss, that's energy being built up. But GosuDark has other plans. I think he's going to push in here.
I mean, I think so, but I don't know how well this is going to go. Once again, look at this minefield. It's so gigantic. Let's see how good the stasises are. Are there any science vessels? No, so there's no risk of EMP. See how good this looks. There's some great EMP or stasis places. He only gets one off, and it's not actually that great, so maybe some Mind Drags can help out. The Zealots are finally breaking through. That second stasis is actually amazing. And so now, finally, maybe these can break through. There's +1 on the siege tanks, and that's actually helping out quite a bit, but the Zealots are finally getting on top of these tanks and taking a lot of them out.
Yeah, we have no support for these tanks. There's only 3 left. All the tanks are going to go down. SPX desperately trying to get out some units. Now, those stasis... those were pretty good. I'm not sure if they're staggered enough. If all the units come out of stasis immediately, they could potentially kill off these Dragoons. But GosuDark is just rallying across the map. He's got a lot more units. But I think SPX is going to hold here. The production just maybe a little bit too strong. Dragoons are really softened up also. Oh, so close right now. Yeah, there we go. Finally coming out of stasis. And he's going to pick off the tanks again.
Man, this is not a good day to be a tank here. Dragoon's just doing uncharacteristically well for GosuDark. Oh, okay, just kidding. They all blew up there at the end.
Well, despite all these trades, GosuDark is still only on 3 base. We don't have a 4th base. Of course, SPX doesn't know this, but he's in a better position than he actually thinks. Supplies are in favor of him. We just killed all the arbiters for GosuDark, so we're not going to have to necessarily worry about stasis. Also, remember, we've had delayed armories, but none of that's actually mattering because he's about to have 2-1, and now he's even going to deny this 4th base?
Wow, this is the bonus round. I never expected it to go this well. Denying this base, though, can he take it out? No. Okay, wow, that's actually a really good save. GosuDark gets back just in time to defend.
Yeah, so GosuDark is going to save his 4th base for now, but I am worried that now that our Arbiter count is so low, the tank count is still Very low for SPX, but at least we're going to have 2-1 pretty soon. Do we have any vessels anywhere? I still do not see any vessels. So we're not going to have any EMP. So, it's a tough call at this point because SPX supplies are even, but our tank count is just so low that if ever there's any a decent stasis, we're literally going to have pure Vulture versus Dragoons, and that's never going to go good for you.
Ugh, yeah, no, that does not sound good. So let's keep an eye on the upgrades here. No upgrades at all for our Protoss player, so that's also not that great. And we're about to hit +2 or 2-1 for SPX, so he's actually in a much better position than he was originally with no armory at all. So, what's the next step here for GosuDark? Is it looking for a fourth base? Is it trying to find a way to shut down one of GosuDark's? It feels like SPX is playing very passively this game.
Yeah, I think SPX needs to start thinking about taking a fourth base of his own. He's delayed the fourth base. He's killed all of GosuDark's army that he just used a moment ago. SPX is going to take bottom middle. I'm not so sure about taking the island base on Eddie. This is such a difficult spot to defend as Terran because Protoss can just recall whenever they want. You're going to have EMP ready all the time there, or you're going to have to constantly dropship in something like vultures and lay mines everywhere. So I am kind of surprised he's taking it. But as I say that, he's taking the base that I do like, the mineral only at bottom middle. That will be much easier to defend. But supplies are even. Surprisingly, SPX doing a really good job keeping his macro up. He even has triple add-ons. He's going to be pumping out those tanks pretty fast. We're up to 12 now. So he has a... Wow, is he just going to attack with pure Vulture?
I mean, Vultures are pretty good, Nyoken. As a Terran player, I feel like you have to at least admit that.
Yeah, they're pretty good when you've got 24 versus 12 Dragoons. So all these Dragoons... Where is GosuDark's... Oh, I just heard recall go off. Okay, bottom right.
In the main,
just
or
got
natural.
recall.
Third. I'm going to name the base correctly one of these times. But it's not going to go very well. He's going to force a pull on the SCVs, but all these tanks should kill everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of tanks now for SPX, and there's really not any army for GosuDark at this point. He just lost all of Dragoons. He's going to lose all of his units here. It's really not very many Dragoons left over. And if I'm SPX at this point, knowing that Protoss is on such a low econ, he should really start thinking about going to kill Protoss, or at least kill top middle.
Something, anything. Yes, at some point. Why is he sending his SCVs back when the Arbiter and the units are still killing everything? There we go. Another scan comes through and cleans it up.
So SPX, I'm counting his tanks right now. I hear Zealot attacking. What is it attacking? Oh, it's killing Depot and Armory in the main base.
Oh my god.
Somehow it got in. Oh, we've got a double recall into the main. They don't have recall yet. 140, 150. Yeah, there's going to be a double recall.
Oh my god. Huge recalls. Is he going to get the second one off?
Oh,
EMP! So good.
That was a very nice EMP there. And now this whole army of Protoss is going to get cleaned up again. Oh my god, that mine.
Get out of this game. Oh my god. That mine, so crazy. But hey, in the end, these two Arbiters will reign supreme, Nyoken. There's nothing to stop them, except their own ability to deal 5 damage a shot.
Yeah, that DPS of the Arbiter, always a big threat to the Terran race. And look at the supplies. Still, GosuDark behind in supply. Of course, that's because he just lost his whole army 3 times. But now SPX, yeah, he's feeling confident now. Definitely at least to go kill top middle. And that would be a huge pickoff because GosuDark's third base pretty low. His natural is also pretty low. And still no 5th base in sight. And meanwhile, SPX has his 4th base up. No SCV transfer just yet. But once that gets going, how's Protoss going to stop this army? The tank count is massive.
Yeah, no, I feel like GosuDark did such a good job limiting that tank count early on, just trading Dragoons into them over and over and over and over. But now finally there is that critical mass. They've got super sick upgrades. I think, what are they still on? 2-1? But the point is that like, you're not going to stop this with just straight up Dragoons, and even Arbiters are not going to help out that much. I think, normally we'd start to see carriers get mixed in if this was like a 4 or 5 base Protoss, but with one of the bases being a mineral only, and none of the prerequisite tech there, I don't know if we're really gonna head towards carriers. I think it's just gonna be mass Gateway Arbiter, and I don't know if that's going to stand up to this giant tank count.
Yeah, the tank count is just huge at this point. SPX nearing max, so is GosuDark. But I'm looking, he's got triple Stargate in his main. Arbiter's, of course, a fantastic unit, but you can't have pure Arbiter as your whole army. He's going to have a lot of stasis available, but he's going to have really good ones. We saw SPX when he was defending split up his tanks very well. He's going to have to make sure that he splits them up very well when he's attacking, but here comes more Arbiters to... Okay, they're not going to the right side. They're just syncing up with the Dragoons. Wow, there's 2 Arbiters at mid-right. There's 2 at top right. He's got 3 more building. So we're going to have... Oh, he's already got 2 more in his main, and then we got 3 more... We've got 5 more building. So we could have 11 Arbiters.
It's so disgusting. I mean, what do you just need to cloak absolutely everything? So many of these Arbiters are also getting EMP'd, so it's like it's not even like they're going to be useful for anything other than those cloaking fields. And there's starting to be a bunch of science vessels out, so I don't know. I mean, at least GosuDark is having an easy time expanding, right? He's gonna get another base up pretty easily. Let's see what SPX can do to try to stop it.
Well, here comes the big attack. Now, this is one of the things about Eddie, where the supplies are pretty good for both players, but SPX has the high ground right now. Well, he's giving it up, but that would have been a fantastic position for him to fight in, be fighting uphill. Most of the Dragoons wouldn't register shots. I see the whole army of GosuDark getting clumped together. It makes me think there must be an Arbiter somewhere around the map looking to recall, but I don't see one anywhere.
Yeah, me neither. The only ones that are kind of out are with the army itself, trying to stasis. So there are some pretty decent stasises coming off, but the tank line's just so infinite.
Yeah, there's so many tanks. But he has infinite stasis. Those 3 stasis that we already saw, there's about 3 or 4 more left. Yeah. Oh, I heard recall. There it is. He recalled on top of the tanks.
No way. There's no detection. He didn't scan. So now actually all the tanks are at risk of dying here. What on earth?
What was this? So he froze all the tanks on the front, and then he recalled on top of the tanks on the bottom, and GosuDark, he's smashing through. Look at supplies now, 170 to 110. This is one of the best fights I've ever seen a Protoss take.
Are you kidding me? Like what is this? I've never seen a Protoss break a tear in that way. You know, you say 11 Arbiters, I'm like, ha ha ha, you know, that's funny, right? But then he uses infinite stasis and recall just so effectively. That is so GosuDark.
Yeah, that's why they call him GosuDark. That was a fantastic trade. Oh, that EMP just hit every Arbiter. But regardless, supplies 175 to 110. It's still going to be very difficult for GosuDark to attack anywhere. Or maybe not. The 4th base that SPX has, there's nothing there. We have vultures, no tanks. Remember, he just killed all those tanks. We have 3 left over. And GosuDark is just kind of streaming across the map. He needs to kill bottom middle. That would be devastating to SPX. That island base that we thought he was going to take, he never took it. So he's essentially on 1 base right now if this dies.
It's just so wacky. Yeah, I think this base is going to die. I mean, there are no tanks in position except for like a couple on the high ground, but those already have zealots on top of them, so should be able to take that out. There's a stray dropship that is going to die for no reason. And I think GosuDark might have done it. He's like doubling his opponent in supply almost.
Yeah, he's doubling supply. He's still got 4 Arbiters left over. He still can cast stasis. No, he's got 8 Arbiters left over. There's 4 more in the center of the map. Look at these endless stasis.
I mean, like what? Okay. Yeah, there's like, how many Goliaths are there? Are there any? I think he used to have a few, but he doesn't anymore. So now he's not mining anymore, except from that almost mined out 3rd base. And if those Arbiters want to take a stroll over there, that'll go down instantly.
Yeah, I think it's just too much GosuDark at this point. He's got his 5th base. He's not mining it just yet. SPX down to 1 base mining. He's got bottom left, but it got shut down by a single zealot. So GosuDark looking to take the game 1 versus SPX. Oh my gosh, he just recalled again on top of the army.
Okay, that one was maybe not quite as good, but you got to use this energy up. It's burning a hole in his pocket.
Yeah, he really needs to get probes to top right. Sure, SPX is down to 1 base, but it's not like GosuDark has the greatest econ either. He's on 2 base, but really he's about to also be on 1 base. If SPX was to stabilize somehow and retake his mineral only base, they would essentially be back on even bases. I don't know if that will ever happen, because look at the minerals for SPX at mid right. We're down to maybe 600 total, maybe 700, something like that. Really not a lot more resources available to him.
Well, you know, I feel like if you are a Terran player and you're not dead against a Protoss, you know, there's a chance. But not the way GosuDark is playing. He's just always looking for a way to break these Terran defenses. And a lot of things that are scary about Terran, like moving through minefields or big tank lines, he's found such slick ways to subvert. This is just so much fun to watch GosuDark kind of pick SPX apart. Now, SPX is mining from that 6 o'clock base, and so that's kind of his lifeline back into the game, because it is an island. If you can build infinite turrets there, maybe you can stop 5, 6, 25 Arbiters, but the 26th Arbiter, Nyokin, that's what gets through. So I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to that one much longer.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's no observer over here, but regardless, GosuDark's looking to end it. He's just got so many units. He's just streamlining in here. Where are all his arbiters that we know he has? They're somewhere out on the map. They're back at his rally point. Oh my god, the mines!
What? Oh my god. All right, well, like I said, there's always a chance. Sick D-Matrix there as well on that tank, but I don't even think that's going to matter. What you do is you stasis the D-Matrix tank. It's like, suck it. All right. I thought he was going to do it there for a second.
These supplies? We just went from near max down to 110. So SPX, he needs to maybe float his main or something to the 4th base, because they're even supplies now.
What is happening?
What just happened?
Nyokin, apologize for your race.
Did you know mines cost 100 minerals, 100 gas? Total,
wow,
total. You get infinite mines from that. I didn't mean per mine. Just it's a one-time investment.
Yeah, I mean, I guess mines are like, what, 25 minerals a piece, and you get the Vulture for free?
Yeah, something like that. So mines doing incredible damage there, and SPX actually has a shot at getting back into this game. It looked unrecoverable, but supplies are pretty close. He does need to get this 4th base desperately. Well, I guess he does have the island. He is mining. He can lay mines everywhere. We saw GosuDark just streamline all his units across the map without an observer. He does that again. SPX could potentially take the supply lead.
Wait, so you're telling me that, like, a map that has unbuildable terrain, lots of places, like, you can just lay mines there, right?
Yeah.
Like, can any other race, like, put anything else there? Like,
No.
oh, is it just mines? Oh, okay.
It's just mines.
Right. Oh,
just mines.
okay, sick, cool. All right, just clearing that up. Wow. So yeah, finally, GosuDark is kind of on the back foot. I don't know, like, he has a bunch of bases, but he doesn't necessarily have a huge army to protect them all. But what he does have is 25 arbiters. I'm just going to use that as my arbitrary infinite number.
He's got 5 arbiters out right now. All of them have a stasis available, trying to... oh my gosh, all the tanks are grouped up right now. Okay, good EMP right there. But there's another EMP available. Okay, that's a wasted EMP, a wasted stasis, essentially. If you can trade a vessel for a stasis, that's perfectly fine. But there's still 3 more stasis available. Now, SPX will be fighting uphill, so he's got to be careful if he wants to take an engagement right here.
Well, so SPX has secured a huge chunk of the map for himself, but there's still, the opportunity for, like, sneaky recalls to do things like bomb the 6 o'clock base. That'd be a great way to kind of dent SPX, or maybe come in through the top, but there's a ton of missile turrets there. And I think rather than thinking offensively, GosuDark actually has to watch out here. Another stasis on the single science vessel, so I don't know if that was a great trade. But all the tanks are clumped up, so there's that other opportunity for things like a big zealot bomb right in the middle.
This is so close. One of those vessels came out of stasis. Now SPX has high ground. He's got mines everywhere. His tank line is pretty good. If he can kill 4th and 5th base, what is this game? The stasises are not that great.
This is only 2-1 Terran as well. It's not like 3-3 or anything. He
Oh,
actually
here comes
stopped getting
GosuDark. This is
upgrades.
it. This is
Here we
it.
go. He's going to try to get that stasis off on the tanks in the back, but the clump is not there any longer. The Zealots are getting up on top of them. A nice stasis right in the middle. The meat of that army going down. The tank line is not as deep as I thought, and this ring of Dragoons is actually starting to break through. D-Matrix comes through. Is it good enough? That tank is basically immortal, and everything else is stasis.
Yeah, so much stasis, but there's 1 tank alive, 2 tanks alive. Oh, but GosuDark reinforcing very quickly. He's got more than enough to stop the army, but he's got to make sure that this army does not come on stasis and he just runs into it and dies.
Man,
Oh,
GosuDark's macro is actually insane, but I think he might just barely have enough to break through here. Depends on the unstasis timing. I think it's going to be pretty manageable. So I think GosuDark should be able to take all this out.
Yeah, I think he is going to take it out. Okay, that's going to be probably the final attack from SPX. SPX, is he going to hold on? There's so many tanks left. But GosuDark streaming in more units. There's just no support for the tanks.
Well, there's some support in the form of a D-Matrix, but that is it. And I think finally, GosuDark has done it. I don't think SPX has any more gas left in the tank or in his bases. And, I mean, he can't keep getting away with it. And there it is, GG, all right. Justice is served. The forces of right and goodness in the universe have prevailed. And wow, somehow GosuDark takes out SPX in game number 1 after 31 minutes.
Yeah, that game was amazing. I really thought both sides could take it at certain points in the game, but that recall changed the tide of the game. SPX had so many tanks, and then this one, well, he set it up with those stasis in the front. None of them could help support those tanks in the back. That was amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a stasis recall combination. It's really only been one or the other. So that was amazing from GosuDark.
Yeah, and it's only because he had those arbiters out so early that he had enough time to research stasis, to research recall, and then to build up enough energy and enough arbiters to run them in, stasis the front, recall the back, and blow up like 20 tanks. It was so beautifully done. And in the end, he did win the game, but it took him quite a while. So wow, what a game, and what a series we have shaping up for ourselves here at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
it's been about 6 hours of games, and we've still got 1.5 more series to go.
It's nuts. So I'm ready to just go into it.
Sure.
We're into the next map. It is Circuit Breakers.
Okay.
I like GosuDark's chances. He showed great control of his Dragoons in the beginning, and he'll be able to do that again on Circuit Breaker, coming down from high ground down the platform, or denying pushes from SPX through those small bridges.
Yeah, and if there is, regardless of which player loses this matchup, there's still another chance for them, because there's still the final elimination match at the very, very end. So this is the winner's match. That means the winner of this series advances on, and the loser of this series goes on to face off against Jaeyoon for the final spot. So without further ado, I think we are ready to get into game number 2 on Circuit Breaker.
Alrighty, so at the bottom left, he's 1 game away from making out of this group. It is GosuDark.
And his opponent, almost coming back in that last game in the upper left-hand corner, is SPX.
So if I'm SPX, I saw him scan the entire map at the very end. He wanted to know exactly what GosuDark had, and he saw that GosuDark was really didn't have that many bases. So I feel like if I'm SPX, just play a little more careful with his tanks in the beginning. If he didn't lose so many tanks, he would have been in a pretty great spot going up against GosuDark. But GosuDark, he's just got really great unit control. He was able to pick off so many tanks in the early game, build up those arbiters. It was just, he had fantastic engagements, other than that one suicide into the natural with all those zealots. But other than that, he just picked SPX apart.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The biggest thing for me is that is how he picked SPX apart, from things like the stasis recall to things like just knowing that massive amounts of arbiters and even things like stasising individual science vessels. Like, I don't know if that's that hashtag value, but he was still actually doing a really good job controlling uh, the army, even though it got pretty big there towards the end. He was able to take it out. So super impressive play there by SPX, and I don't, or by GosuDark, but for SPX, I want to see him play like maybe a little bit more aggressive style. Instead of this build up, build up, build up, I've got a big 2-base army, and then I try to go kill you, which it seems like GosuDark can handle really well.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what SPX is going to decide to go for. We already see a 12 gas coming down from him. I think versus GosuDark, this is the most optimal opener. And what's GosuDark going to do? We see standard play so far. He's scouting pretty fast. SPX also scouting pretty fast. Is his SCV going to go the right direction? No, it is going to be another last scout, most likely for SPX. And that's always dangerous versus a player like GosuDark. We remember last game SPX scouting GosuDark's base, but not scouting GosuDark's base. SV didn't go in all the way.
Yeah, no, he's gonna just go in there and he's gonna have one SCV per base to just run around and make sure that there's no buildings there or buildings. That's always like really triggering when you go back and watch the replay and you almost scout the proxy, but you're a pixel off, or you misscout the base, or yeah, you have some error like that. But it's encouraging kind of to see really good players make those mistakes, because I'm just like, I might have made those mistakes at one point or another. So there's some common ground that we all have with these players. So really cool to see players like SPX kind of make those mistakes and then rally from it. Say, okay, well, that sucks, but I can still play the rest of this game out. And it didn't actually, in the end, wind up hurting him too much, because he wasn't going for something like a super early aggressive play.
Yeah. Now this is interesting from GosuDark. He's gone Zealot. He's built 2 of them. He hasn't shown it yet, and he hasn't been scouted. So Terran doesn't suspect anything. These 2 Zealots are going to appear at Terran's front door. Oh no, these Marines are moving out. But look at what GosuDark's
keep in
doing at the
mind,
mid-right.
Oh no, what? No, not like this! There's also a pylon being built for a proxy in the upper right-hand corner. So what are we about to watch here, Nyoken?
Yeah, now this Sim City from SPX is very nice. It's going to be Zealot tight. But the Vulture's going to pop out on the wrong side, but luckily the Zealots are not over there. Also, you cannot put an add-on there, so this is going to delay the tank, which is going to make the Dragoon even more... Oh, this Vulture, it can't die. If it dies, it's probably lights out.
Oh my god, he's so close to killing that with just Zealots. This is actually crazy. There's no wall, so these Zealots are going to get in. He can trap one of these Marines. Oh my god, he can actually kill both of these Marines. Holy cow. Now there's a Vulture, 16 HP in a Dream. Oh no, he didn't micro... Oh my god, this is so scary.
Oh, this SCV got into the main of GosuDark, actually got a kill, but he didn't see anything. He didn't see a Nexus, he didn't see Citadel. He can probably suspect that GosuDark is going for some type of cheese build, but what is it going to be? I like GosuDark's choice to go for robotics here. The placement of this is never going to get scouted. And a lot of times, from Terran's point of view, is the most common all-in is DT. So if he gets mines here and Reaver comes into his base, it's going to be near impossible to stop with just mass vultures and mines. But thankfully, SPX is building an eBay. He's got his tank coming. I hope that he puts a turret ring. We sometimes see that as a follow-up. But if he only puts 1 turret at the entrance of his base, this Reaver is probably going to deal potentially game-ending damage.
I really like what SPX is doing. He's scouting around for every single proxy location. But the best place to put a proxy is in a base, because SPX doesn't like scouting those. So we'll see if he actually does find this eventually. I'm sure he will get there soon, but he's actually scouting for proxies that are like close to his base, not that far away. So he's going through the middle of the map. He's checking all these locations, but he hasn't found it yet.
Yeah, this is great from SPX. Unfortunately, he will not find it. Another common proxy area is not where GosuDark put it, but like at the corner of the top right main, you see a lot of carrier placements there.
Ah.
But unfortunately for SPX, he's not going to go scout that. He just scouted the low ground version. And now he's going to come back down to the main of GosuDark. And he's going to see nothing at the third base. He's probably going to come into the natural, see there's no Nexus. Now, at least this will at least tip him off that it isn't all in, because to not have a Nexus at this point, 6 minutes, this is a super all in.
Yeah, no, I think that now realizing this, how is he going to respond? We should just see mass turret rings. We should see bunkers. As long as you hold on from this point, you know either your opponent snuck a base somewhere, or they are coming at you with a super dirty cheese. And now is where we're gonna see that. It is the Reaver in the shuttle, headed out from that proxy.
Now, SPX did get siege mode, so this is going to be perfect for what he's up against. He even has a turret in his main. He knows that there's definitely cheese coming. Now, this turret placement is not the greatest versus Reaver play, but in this scenario, since he's all clumped up together, this is going to be pretty much fine for him. GosuDark, still no Nexus. Look at the main. He's not even building probes in his main. We only have 15 probes or so. This is... It doesn't get much more all in than this. We even have more gateways coming up behind this.
Well, this is it. How many Reaver shots does he get? He gets one SCV. Sick.
So this is... It looked pretty dangerous for SPX with all the Zealot harassment going on. But in reality, since we can see this from the overlooking point of view, SPX is again in a supply lead. And GosuDark, he's all in. This is still 3-gate Reaver off one base, and we're 7 minutes into the game.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess the follow-up is going to be what is the attempt at real damage. So running through the bunker, trying to snipe this tank. He's going to get the tank, but he's going to lose at least 2 Dragoons. No. Taking out that tank was most of the damage, and so now there's 4 that can start pressuring the front with a Reaver. It's a nice follow-up. If you can't drop the main and get crazy damage done that way, try to break through the bunker. SCV pull barely saves it.
Wow, SCV's heroes there. And I think that SPX has shut this down. I feel like GosuDark has to transition at this point. It's flat out not working. I hope SPX sieges, because he's most likely this Reaver's going to get unloaded pretty soon. There's the siege. But still no Nexus, no probes being made. This is it for GosuDark. He's got to make this work. Another tank pickoff. He's just consistently doing a great job getting these tanks, but I don't think that that's enough damage. SPX is just building pure tanks out of his factories.
He's going to try to go for it, trying to break the front. He's got 2 tanks there, but the high... Oh, I thought there was mischance. Maybe not, but this is not going to work out. He's going to lose everything, and, well, he didn't even get a Scarab shot off there at the end, and that Reaver has like 2 HP.
Yeah, so we lost the majority of our Dragoons there. Now we've got a pretty sizable supply lead for SPX. He's got his armory going. He's got perfect saturation at his natural. He has more SCVs at his natural than GosuDark has probes at his main. So economy is amazing for SPX at this point. I feel like really all SPX has to do is maybe get a consolidation of tanks, maybe like 10 or so, with maybe 4 or 5 factories behind it, and he can just walk across the map to GosuDark's base.
Is that what he's really going to do? I mean, I think you're right. There's not a whole lot standing in his way, right? There's a proxy that's building a Reaver, but there's still no shuttle for the Reaver. It's got to come all the way back across the map. So a very slow shuttle is going to come over here, and I think he's going to go DTs next and just try every dirty way that he can to break through.
Yeah, well, look at the main of GosuDark. 5 probes?
Jeez. It's like SPX did some crazy drop that killed all of his workers, except that he killed all of his workers by never making them.
Yeah, I mean, if GosuDark had just consistently built probes during all this, he would be his econ would be nuts. He's keeping SPX in his base. He may have potentially even have top right, but instead his econ's really shot. He's really forced into this all in. He's got a second Reaver. He's gonna go for some more harassment. And like you said, we thought it's gonna be a DT drop, but we just see Citadel with speed upgrading. So it's just again just gonna continue the Zealot pressure. But that window is gone. The tank count is too high. SPX even feels confident about putting down a command center. Oh, these Reavers. It's one tank.
I mean, he's doing the best that he can. Honestly, you gotta micro your heart out at this point. He's gonna try to drop on top of the tank. I don't. That's not the way to do it.
Yeah, I think he knows that he's got to get something done. So he's trying to kill as many tanks as possible so he can delay the push coming out so he can get his at least these speed zealots out. He's still only on 3 gates, 70 supply to 60. Now, of course, SPX doesn't know this. He may think that GosuDark is on 3 base. We know that he's definitely not on that, but we do have factories coming down for SPX. It's gonna just really, like I said, maybe get up to 130 supply. He may wait for +2 weapon. We don't see a starport, so maybe that's not likely, but definitely gonna wait for +1. Probably look for around 130 supply, get his third base at least set up, and then he may be looking to just end this.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think it's all over, but the crying. Like we've got very low economy for GosuDark. We've got a Terran player that has already finished +1 and has Charon boosters and +1 armor on the way. So he's just just killing it. He's got tons and tons of tanks and Goliaths. So well, good luck.
Well, I heard a scan just go off. SPX scanned the main, saw 3 gates and nothing else. If I'm Terran in this position, I'd be pretty worried about there must be carriers somewhere. But here comes GosuDark. He's coming in with a lot of Zealots and Dragoons, but they're getting bottled up on the bridge. Reaver's still not here either. There's so many tanks just obliterating everything. Here come those Reavers finally. Pretty big hit, but there's just too many tanks.
Well, I mean, you really had to go for it at the end. This is going to be a little bit anticlimactic. He actually did get some pretty good Reaver connections, but you had to deal damage there, and he didn't kill anything meaningful. There's tons of tanks. There's still tons of tanks, and there's nothing that GosuDark can do about it.
Yeah, now GosuDark is finally taking a third base. But I was going to say when SPX scanned the main, he didn't see anything, which makes you worried about carriers or fast arbiter or something, but in reality there's really no threat to SPX. He can do whatever he wants, and he's going to take his third base, probably take his fourth base pretty soon. He's floating a lot of minerals, but not a huge deal. He's got 7 factories coming down, 8 factories probably. This is exactly what you want on 3 base. And what does GosuDark have? He's got 2 Zealots and a Dragoon. I mean, there's just nothing.
Well, when you put it like that, Nyokin, you're right. Well, I guess there's not too many other ways to put it. It's just like, well, it's just not looking good.
But there's not, we're not going to have 11 arbiters where we can just stasis forever. We have a low actual army to clean up the picked apart units that are not stasis. There's just nothing here for GosuDark. He's trying to transition, but it's just too late at this point. And here comes SPX. I hear a bunch of scans go off. Oh, only at the natural, but regardless, he sees the paltry army that GosuDark has, and it's just a matter of time before SPX just gets everything together and starts moving across the map.
Yeah, and if you keep letting like Terran take another base, get upgrades, take another base, you're just, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? Now we're gonna watch Vultures kill a Nexus. They should be able to do that because as harass units, you're supposed to be able to harass by destroying the highest HP buildings that your opponent has. So he's almost able to take it out there, takes the shields off, but is ushered away. But there's still no probes there because honestly, I guess GosuDark barely has enough probes to saturate 2 bases.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the probe count really. But here comes SPX. He's got a pretty sizable army. Now, GosuDark did have pretty good Reaver control, but it's going to have to be unreal Reaver control to deal with this army. And mines are setting up. There's a lot of tanks already here. Here comes the final attack from GosuDark. Reaver, is it gonna unload? Oh, he still cannot find an opening for it, but it gets insta-killed.
That's gonna do it. GG, GosuDark taps out, and SPX comes back in game 2.
Yes, that was nice crisis management from SPX. And I did like GosuDark's build other than not building probes. I thought it was a nice follow-up because a lot of times as Terran, you're worried about DTs, which means you're going to build a lot of vultures or mines or underbuild turrets, maybe, or not build turrets in the right spot. But yeah, unfortunately for GosuDark, he goes down there.
Well, I mean, that's going to tie the series up at 1-1, right? So I guess that means we get an ace match coming up, right?
Yeah, so this is going to be the decider match. It's 1-1. So it doesn't get more epic than this. Every single series so far has gone to best of 3, or to the final game, I mean. We could go to the distance, all 15 games.
Actually, I think the first series was 2-0, right? SPX
Oh, he
2-0
did.
Jaeyoon, right?
He did. It just felt like 3
Yeah,
games.
no, it did. Those, and actually, almost every game that Jaeyoon has played has gone really, really long. So we might be in for quite the long broadcast here. Okay, well then, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our next game. This is going to be on Sylphid, I believe.
Yep, it is Sylphid. So I'm ready.
Me too. Let's do it. Um, so yeah, DJ hit the button. Zero, of course, behind the scenes running everything for BSL as well as the production. So even though he's not on camera or on microphone, just letting you guys know that he's doing a great job behind the scenes, making everything work and being your observer. So huge thanks to Zero for putting on the tournament and everything else. I think we are about ready to go though. So looks like this is Sylphid for the final game to find out who is advancing out of Group A between wow, I'm just GosuDark and SPX. Oh man, quite the night.
Alrighty, so in the bottom right, we've got the Terran hope of this group. He needs one more win. He'll be the first one out. It's SPX.
Yep. Opponent in the yellow is our Protoss player GosuDark, who won game number 1 with a weird 2-base Mass Arbiter style. Never seen quite a win like that before, but he played it really expertly. And then game number 2, he tried a proxy, and it never really worked.
Yeah, but now we're on Sylphid, a little bit different than Circuit Breaker, and be the GosuDark's units can be a much powerful on even ground. I do think SPX needs to just keep going for that 12 gas style. It is mandatory to keep your tank count high versus GosuDark because he will pick them off. And when you're going for gasless, your tank count initially is going to be very low. So I do expect another 12 gas from GosuDark, from SPX. But what is GosuDark's follow-up going to be? Are we going to see more 3-gate? We've seen that every single game so far. 3-gate on the first one. After, what did he go the first game?
The first
It
game
was
he
one
went
base
2-gate, right?
It was one base robo into 3-gate, and we also saw
Oh,
that again in the
yeah.
last game. So every game we've seen a 3-gate build from him. I think it's worked pretty good in the initial phases, but of course the last game it kind of fizzled out. So
No,
I
I
think
know. I like the way that you said it in the initial phases. It's like, well, yeah, it's kind of hard to get past those sometimes, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I mean, it's kind of cool to have like a base for how you want to play. Like, okay, this is how I open, and then here are the ways that I like fork off of that build. So hey, at least you know what you're gonna get. But I mean, this is a 3-player map, so it's gonna be a lot different than having these big 4 players.
yeah. So we do have SPX going for 12 gas. Is he gonna first scout? Looks like his SCV might get a first scout off, so this is ideal for him. GosuDark not gonna get a first scout off, but doesn't matter because his probe's out on the map so much faster.
It looks like he's taking a turn for the worse here, like a Oregon
Oh.
Trail character. So unfortunately, he will scout incorrectly.
So he is going to scout him last, and that's going to allow GosuDark most likely to get a Dragoon out in time. Don't think one Dragoon will be able to shut down the SCV. So it's likely he will get a scout off. Now, what is SPX going to do? There is the pull off of gas. It is going to be another expansion build after the factory. Now, this probe left immediately. And remember last game, the probe left immediately and it went and proxied. So if I was SPX, I'd keep my eye on my SCV. And if I see the probe go back to the main, then I can be pretty confident there's no proxy. But if I don't see it, then I would start getting suspicious of proxies again on the side of the map. Probably near mid-right if he's going to proxy somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think the right side of the map obviously is where you would be closest, but also most unlikely to be scouted. Let's see. I feel like after you fail a proxy like that, or after your proxy just doesn't work, you're probably a little bit more hesitant to do it again because it's not something that you have another chance at, right? This is the final game. One of these players is making it out. Maybe you do it and you say, well, I've got another. Even if I lose this, there's still another chance to get out by going through the final match. So it doesn't look like he's going to do it just yet, though.
Yeah, so GosuDark, we've seen a delayed tech from him every single game. What's he gonna do? This probe is already looking suspicious to me. There it goes. It's moving to the right side. I think it's gonna be a Citadel. Oh, Robo. So another one-base Robo. This is likely gonna be another 3-gate Robo like what we saw on Eddie. I did like that build choice from GosuDark, but look at SPX. We have a deviation from him. It's going to be an FD push. This is something you don't see nowadays. But up against somebody like GosuDark who likes to just jump on your tanks, this could be very punishing because he's not going to have the Observer with his Dragoons a lot of the time. So I do like this adaptation that SPX has pulled out here. I don't necessarily... Oh, this SCV, what's it doing? I don't necessarily think SPX even needs to attack with this. I just like the fact that we're getting mined so fast.
Yeah, well, it depends on whether or not he uses his robotics facility for good or for evil. Obviously, if he builds an obs, then hey, suddenly that's a lot better. Probably not though. So here's the 2 gateways, and yeah, he's just doing the same build all over again. But an FD push against this, GosuDark, this is gonna be pretty scary.
Yep, there is a window of opportunity for SPX. We know that there's more gates coming in for GosuDark, but they're not going to come into effect just yet. Dragoons just started, so there's only 3 Dragoons to defend this push. The probe scout right there is pretty critical. He sees exactly what's coming on. Here comes the Vulture in the back, but there's 4 Dragoons now. 4 is really the real number you need to face this. Starts one-shotting Marines, 2-shotting tanks, and Vultures. So GosuDark is already going to fend this back, and smartly, I like this play from SPX. He's turning around. He's just going to lay mines on his way back. He already had mines already laid. Look at them at the natural. So I do like this turnaround from SPX.
Yeah, so he pulls back. He doesn't lose all of his forces. He's got a command center about halfway done. And, I mean, if GosuDark wants to try to chase him, there's mines in the way. So that's actually really good. And because there's no Nexus down, because he's building 3 Dragoons at a time, the SPX is going to have the same position as he did in the last game, where he just has to hold on.
Yeah, and this time we've got a fast second factory for SPX. Well, I guess every game he's gotten a fast second factory. That's exactly what you need versus somebody that you know is going to build a lot of Dragoons in the early game. But this siege timing, this is perfect siege timing. It's going to hit right when the Dragoons get here. And remember, these Marines, they didn't die, so they're going to buffer a lot of the hits coming in from the Dragoons. Is GosuDark going to try and jump on it? He might. He is. There's another
Here we
tank.
go. Yeah, 3rd tank's going to make a huge difference. And look at the SCVs, perfect body blocking the Marines. So much DPS. Even traps the Dragoon there at the end. Beautiful hold here by SPX.
Yeah, this was perfect. Now, he did lose 2 tanks, which is a big loss. But we know that GosuDark has been expanding very late in all the games. So it's not like SPX is feeling pressured like, oh no, I lost 2 tanks and this guy's double expanding. We know that GosuDark's econ is most likely not going to be the greatest at this point. It's more likely that he's going to keep up the pressure. So if I'm SPX at this point, Just get a turret like we're seeing. Maybe even get a bunker. Make sure we don't die to some type of zealot bomb. And even building a turret in his main. So he's really making sure that he does not die to any aggression from GosuDark. So I'm really loving SPX play from here. I'm taking a look back at GosuDark's main. Do we have Reaver anywhere? No, we're just got a Nexus. And there's
What is
no
this shuttle
real
for? I mean, I guess he's gonna try to maybe bomb with zealots and break through, but
yeah. So
wow.
like I
Almost
said,
lost that observer.
yeah, we don't want to. It's likely that GosuDark's going to keep up the pressure, so this shuttle is going to be a zealot bomb. And SPX, he must have heard me through the stream, because there's that bunker, and this is going to be amazing to deal with the zealots. Not only is it going to make the zealots AI mess up, it's going to make the Dragoon AI mess up, and that bunker can be repaired. This could be a game changer in the defense for SPX.
Wow. Well, once again, GosuDark has, that one shot, one opportunity, but once again, I don't know if that's really going to work, because SPX knows at this point, hey, I'm just going to turtle on 2 bases. I'm going to get airtight. There's no way that he's going to be able to take me down. How did those vultures
Go SPX.
run through all those Dragoons? Oh my god. All right, well, now he's got to pull back. Wow. This is really impressive. He can even lay mines in between to stop reinforcements.
Yeah, now, he got in! No, he didn't. I thought he got in there. We were talking about those little gaps earlier, like how do SCVs or how do Lings slip through there? Well, those vultures are just as slippery as Lings, but the zealots made sure that they didn't get in. But again, we don't have Comsat 4. Oh, this time SPX got a faster Comsat, so this is nice. He's going to scan again. See that GosuDark is pretty committed here. Where's that shuttle? We talked about him having it, but I don't see it anywhere. Did he cancel it?
Yeah, what? Wait, where is that? I saw that he had observers flying around. I think he's just massing observers. I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, so
well, that's kind of a big deal.
It looks like he canceled it, and instead he's going into Citadel. Guess he saw something with his Dragoons and noticed that this is probably not going to work. He's going to change into something else. Now this Citadel, last time we didn't even see a Templar Archive. This may just be straight speed. We may see Gateway Man come in with maybe 2 or 3 more gates. Well, maybe not.
I mean,
GosuDark has the natural gas, which leads me to believe that this is probably going to be Arbiter play like the first game. But nope, there is speed.
Okay, well, I mean, if he's got speed, he's got, a decent number of zealots, making them 4 at a time, getting legs. But I mean, what is your plan to do things with those zealots? Like, are you just going to try to bulldoze through the front door? Because he did cancel that shuttle. So, I mean, there's not really another avenue of attack. He's not, like, trying to expand behind this. I guess he does have a probe up at what would be the 3rd base, but he's only got 50 minerals, so I think we're actually just going to try to play this aggressively.
Yeah, so someone needs to call Artosis, because we've got full Gateway Man in effect. We've got 6 gate, 2 base, no forge, no arbiter. This is just straight man mode. We're going to be busting in with a pure goon zealot. Not even a shuttle with this. It's just pure Gateway Man. We see a lot of zealots coming out. Now, SPX, he's got a good factory count. He's got 5 factories versus 6 gate. That's pretty good for Terran. I'd be feeling really great about that, especially knowing that you're going to have this small 3rd base where you can even set up a depot wall. You could set up some sort of Sim City even outside of your natural. This is phenomenal for SPX.
Yeah, and he's going to have +1 done by the time legs finish. So as soon as GosuDark's going to want to play aggressively, he's going to have to play into this +1, which is just going to be, oh my god, so good. So when are we going to pull the trigger on this? There is actually a 3rd base coming up from GosuDark, but he's kept all of his zealots back at home, and just now sending them out.
Yeah, now we don't know if SPX ever scanned these zealots, but here they come. That's a lot of zealots. We've got upwards of 20 zealots. We've got maybe 12 goons, but there's a huge minefield in the front. He's got to clear it. If he does not clear these mines, these zealots are going to get instant evaporated. But here we go. GosuDark is going to be his only attack. He's trying. Decent.
No mine drag, so that's a little bit heartbreaking. The zealots are evaporating. Some of them do break through, but actually there's even more behind that. The Dragoons non-existent, so it's up to these Zealots to break through everything. And ooh, I don't know if they're going to be able to make it yet. Turning around, a tragic attack there by GosuDark.
Yeah, so he lost his whole army, but he did kill a lot of the tanks for SPX, but SPX still has 5 left over. He's got that good factory count, so he can get more mines out on the map pretty quickly. And this Vulture at top left sees that the third base is not mining for GosuDark. So again, SPX not worried about really any big macro play coming in from GosuDark. He knows he literally only has to survive. And now that he's got those mines up, he's in a very good spot to make that happen.
Yeah, we're going to watch Vultures kill Dragoons again, so that's a little bit sad for them. But really, that's just the realization that GosuDark kind of wasn't able to get as much damage done as he wanted with that push and lost everything else behind it. So, I mean, I guess there is a third base, but when you're on equal bases as PvT, it's always kind of a feels bad, man, because obviously you want to try to get out on the map to try to get more bases, but I don't know if GosuDark, I don't know if that's in his future.
Yeah, so we've got 105 supply as Terran versus 66 for Protoss, almost getting doubled in supply. You don't see that often. But GosuDark, we've seen him have really good trades most of the time. So he can definitely make it happen. He's got his Stargate going up. I'm not sure if he's going to survive that point because SPX is just looking to end it. So many tanks for him, so many Vultures. And there's just not really an army for him. Only 5 Dragoons and 1 Zealot left over. So I think SPX has done it. He's going to be our winner for Group A.
Yeah, SPX in first place. That's really, really surprising. GG GosuDark taps out, and that is going to do it for our winners match. Congratulations to SPX, who will advance on to the next round. Really, really solid play there at the end. And I think for me, the creativeness of GosuDark in game number 1, where he was able to go for this weird mass arbiter play, really fell apart when you hit games number 2 and 3, where he's just trying to go for this one base, I gotta kill you right now build that doesn't wind up paying off.
Yeah, well, regardless, GosuDark has done pretty well the whole tournament. We'll have to see if he can take out Jaeyun, because that's who his next opponent is going to be. I think he's got a good shot. Like we were talking about earlier, you can't let Jaeyun just sit there. And GosuDark is apparently not a player to just let you sit there, so I do think he has a good shot taking out Jaeyun, so I'm looking forward to that incoming match.
Yeah, my voice is like really starting to kind of go downhill, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to join you for that last match. I'll try to talk to Zero and see if we can work something out there in the meantime. But it's been a lot of StarCraft, and I hope that the final match kind of lives up to the hype that all of the other matches have given us tonight. It's been quite a few games, and I think all of them have had something kind of cool and unique. So I'm really glad that BSL Season 6 is back, and hopefully the rest of the groups are as good as this one. So between games before our final series of the night, I think we're going to take a small break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the final series of the night.